to another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG. And on today's show, we're going to be talking a lot about PlayStation. A lot of PlayStation stories today. We've got Sony PlayStation accounts are reportedly being hacked with ease. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about PlayStation has started revealing public player counts, which is on the new UI system inside the dashboard inside of PlayStation. So that's interesting. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about Sony raises the PlayStation Plus price for $1 and for 1 and also 3 month subscription. We're also going to talk about PlayStation CEO confirmed single player games will no longer launch on PC. Then we're going to watch a Gaming Bolt review of the Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight review. And then we're going to watch a Big Fry TV talking about Hell Let Loose Vietnam because it's not looking good, at least what he's hearing from people that have been playing it behind the scenes. And the open beta comes out in just a week, and the launch is less than a month away. So we're going to talk about this and more on the show. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate you very much. What's going on, All Turn? Eclipse, Crowded, Jesse Mack, Just Enough, Kylo Green, First Loser, Mr. Z, Roadkill, Sarge, and Waterbear. Good morning. Anybody else I missed? I'll see you when you type. I appreciate you. All right. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. A lot of let's start off with the player count. Start off with the player count. Okay. Which I think is very interesting that they're doing this on the PlayStation. Now, they're only doing it for the top 10. They're only doing it for the top 10. If you go past the top 10, it just shows you like a percentage. What's going on, Ashraf? Roic. So it's very interesting what they're doing, but it's nice that they're doing it, I have to say, because I like numbers, and showing me the numbers means that you can't really lie about what's on the platform, right? Everyone's saying, oh, well, Steam's the bad guys, right? You can't just go off the Steam numbers. Well, now you can go off the Steam numbers and the top 10 games, so when a brand new game comes out, obviously, it might go high on the top 10 list for PlayStation, but it also might not, sort of like what happened to Highguard or Concord. Right, so PlayStation has started revealing public player counts. Okay, if you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member for a little as $5. So a new beta widget has been discovered from PlayStation 5's Welcome Hub, which shows players the top 10 most played games in their country. This data goes hand in hand with overarching player counts, which reveal which games are enjoying millions of weekly active users, which is a good sign for gamers, because if you want to play a game, you're like, oh, is it popular? Am I going to be able to find a server? It'll show you. Now, I'll go a little deeper into this a little bit. Now, Sony recently explained why they charge a 30% commission on purchasing made on PlayStation Store, noting that supporting the PlayStation dev is a big investment. Now they're trying a new widget that highlights the most played games of their platform for users by region. So the PlayStation beta widget reveals players' numbers for the first time. As spotted by Mystic over on YouTube, the new PlayStation 5 beta widget for the Welcome Hub shows the top 10 most played games of your country that week, as well as the games that are also trending now in your region. Trending now provides players with a visual showing a surge of gameplay hours and matches for that game. For example, the video revealed that Overwatch had 255% surge in matches. Company of Heroes had a 249% surge in gameplay hours, and Test Drive Ultimate Solar Crown was up 128% in matches. Doom Eternal had a 188% surge in gameplay hours. The top 10 option provides a player count number for games across a 7-day window. So, for example, Apex Legends had 1.72 million players, Battlefield 6 had 1.51 million, and Arc Raiders had 972,000 at the furthest end of the spectrum. Now, Fortnite had a whopping 14.6 million players, Call of Duty brought in 4.95 million, and GTA 5 on PlayStation 5 had 5.13 million. It's a great way for players to discover new games or even jump back into games they've played before. However, some of the games on this list could remain consistent due to large player bases. Now, this is a pretty huge leap forward, as until now, the Steam offered very public data around the player counts. PlayStation's new feature isn't a granular as Steam's data, which goes down as an individual user, but it is a big step in the right direction when it comes to transparency. I don't really think this is full transparency. This is more of a feels like transparency. And again, I'll go into that. In other news, Sony Interactive Entertainment VP has revealed that the company helped fund over 120, which we already knew about that, right? And we talked about that. So let's look at some of the numbers, right? Let's look at some of the numbers that they had here. So PlayStation is in beta testing a new feature for Welcome Hub, shows weekly player counts up to 10 games in the country. Now, according to the U.S. data, the rankings are Fortnite's number one at 14.6 million players, and Grand Theft Auto 5 is at 5.13 million players. Now, there could be overlap here, okay? Could be overlap here, but if we think about this, right, we talk about the PlayStation numbers and how many people own a PlayStation. There's 93.2 million right now, 93.5 million, something along the lines of that, pretty close. Okay, and Fortnite's 14 million people are playing Fortnite, right? 5 million people are playing Grand Theft Auto 5. So that's right there. We're closing in on 20 million of the 93 million. Then you have Minecraft, which is almost 5 million people weekly playing Minecraft. And then you have another almost 5 million people on Call of Duty, which are both Microsoft titles on the PlayStation. Okay, then you have Apex Legends, 1.72 million. Then you have Marvel Rivals, which is a free-to-play game, 1.58 million. Then you have Battlefield 6, the best-selling game of last year, at 1.51 million. And then you have Arc Raiders, 972,000 players. So they don't show the number 9 and they don't show the number 10 in this particular video that they showed on the thing, but it is nice that they're showing you this. Now, I have to say, a lot of this is not going to change. You're not going to see a lot of brand new titles coming in here. Obviously, when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, you'll see Grand Theft Auto 6 get into this chart. But a lot of things won't get into this sphere, right? Wolverine might pop in for the first week, right? Which you would hope. It's a first-party title for PlayStation, and you have 93 million potential people that could buy it. So you would hope that Wolverine would break into here and maybe get into the 3-4 spot, 5 million copies and whatnot. But this is nice to see, right? This is nice to see. But at the same time, the top 10 list is not going to change a lot. So they're showing you, and then all the rest are just percentages. They're just percentages where it says it's gone up, like the article says, where it just shows, such and such game has gone up 255% surge. Well, if there was one person playing it and it went up 255%, well, now you have 255 people playing it. You know what I mean? So they're not really being fully transparent with all the games that are coming out there, just the top 10, which is really not going to change a lot because 7 of the 10 games are going to be the exact same: Apex, Fortnite, Minecraft, Call of Duty, GTA, all those games. I'm surprised Roblox wasn't up there. Is Roblox is on PlayStation, is it not? So I'm a little interested to see what happens. Roadkill says we'll see how good James Bond does. I don't think we see James Bond. I mean, obviously, it might make the list, but it'll be like here, right? It'll be like 1.5, maybe 2, right? I think it'll sell decent, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so there is the... What do you guys think about this, right? What do you guys think about them being transparent all of a sudden, where they're showing you numbers? Right? They're kind of lifting up the veil, but not giving up the veil because, again, it's only for the week, not for the month. You could take the average. You know, if Fortnite's up there for 14 million for the week, and then it goes down to 13 million, then it goes down to 10 million, then you can figure out the average at the end of the month or whatever, if it's consistently on the list. If they're not consistently on the list, they'll just tell you, hey, now people are going to use this list, even though it's only a week. Steam is consistent. You can see the ups and downs on Steam. In here, you're only going to see the top 10 and when it hits the thing. So if game comes out, gets 2 million, it'll be like, see, 2 million people bought the game or played the game that week of the first week or whatever week it came out. And only if it stays on the list. Again, I want to know what number 9 and number 10 are. So if anybody's in the beta program, and you happen to see what number 9 and number 10 are, please share it in the comment section or please share it in the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Charles Hawk says, I thought Sony was going day one on PC. I mean, technically they are, Charles. They take their live service games and put them day one. Remember that little game called Helldivers 2? That was day and date from a PlayStation, right? So they've already done that with third-party game or with their first-party live service games. Now, as far as their great segue, by the way, thank you very much. Here you go. It says PlayStation CEO confirms single-player games will no longer launch on PC. Now, we've talked about this in the past as far as everyone's going off on their own island, right? We've talked about this in the past about, Nintendo's on their own island because they're like the mobile market type of thing because there's a handheld. They weren't really competing. Remember, PlayStation and Xbox never really talked about Nintendo. They're just like, oh, yeah, no, PlayStation and Xbox. These are two people that are competing, and PlayStation's number one because it's beating Xbox and so on and so forth. And they never really talked about it. Even PlayStation says we're not even worried about Nintendo. Well, now the industry has shifted over the last, 4 years, and a lot of them are going into that PC market. They're going into, or Steam's coming into the console market, even though it's a PC, but they're making a box that goes to hook up to your television to capture that crowd, right? RAM prices, tariffs, all this stuff is over the last couple of years have risen the prices for market conditions for the actual what's happening in the industry now. So all of a sudden, Xbox said it was only 4 games, and then they put all of their games, basically, almost all their games over on PlayStation, right? Even though the games that they put over on PlayStation, majority of them were 1 year, 2 years old, whatever, down the line. Indiana Jones came out, 6 months afterwards? There are, what's the other one? There was one more game. Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds came out at the same time and stuff like that. So each one is a, case-by-case scenario, as they only said 4 games, and now majority of the games are coming over. They're making Halo coming over and whatnot. PlayStation said, we're never going to go to PC. And then 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Horizon came out on PC, and then Spider-Man. But years later, it was like, year and a half, 2 years later, and they started shortening that window. And then they went all in on live service games. And then they started putting MLB The Show over on Xbox. They started putting their live service games over on Xbox. And now they're saying, no, we're not going to do anything over, because they were trying to get people to come over from PC 2 years later and say, hey, you want to buy a PlayStation? Come on over to the PlayStation side. But then a little thing happened where the consoles went up 2 times in 10 months for PlayStation, 12 months or 6 months for Xbox, where they both raised the prices to astronomical heights. And now most people don't want to buy a console, because why would they buy a console when they could just save up a little bit more and get a PC, which can get way more out of it? And now the Steam machine enters the scenario. So PlayStation CEO confirmed single-player games will no longer launch on PC. It's been confirmed by Bloomberg. Jason Schreier, as big as PlayStation games, particularly those with single-player focus, will no longer launch on PC. This is a push from Sony's group to return to the console exclusivity, hosting only multiplayer-centric titles across both PlayStation 5 and PC. This report came from Bloomberg in March, but more information has added today by Schreier. Namely, additional information of Herman Holtz, CEO, has confirmed that direction in all new Town Hall, the slate of narrative single-player games headed to PlayStation, will launch only on PlayStation and won't be ported to PC later. PlayStation games are firmly and PlayStation games. In March, Bloomberg reported that PlayStation has been planning to pull back on publishing first-party single-player games on PC. It was also stated that it was also likely due to the low sales on PC and his ongoing risk of damaging the brand, diluting PlayStation and allowing users to experience the label first-party titles away from PlayStation console. Earlier today, Jason Schreier took it to social media with a scoop confirming that CEO Herman Holtz held a new town hall where PlayStation is solidifying the strategy. Okay, it says this means that the games like Wolverine and Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophecy, won't hit PC when they do launch. When Wolverine's coming first this year, it was recently claimed that the Intergalactic is 2 years away. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach hit PC shortly after Schreier's original report went out, and certain PlayStation publisher games like Kenya's Scars of, how do you say that, Kazamar, are still up in the air. Are you surprised that Sony is pulling back PlayStation games from PC? Let us know. No, I'm not. There's also, remember the report of also PlayStation is working on their own launcher on PC. So think about this, right? Again, these are just rumors. We don't know. This was a rumor until confirmed just now, just 2 months later. If they are working on their own launcher on PC, they're stopping it from going to Steam or Epic or a port over there. But if PlayStation is working on their own launcher, sort of like Blizz, Blizz.net, Hytale's got their own. Lots of guys have their own launchers for their games. Even Minecraft has their own launcher. You don't even have to go through. They're working on their launcher. This has been said multiple times through other people. And if they are making a launcher, then this would make sense, right? Pull it away from Steam, because they are afraid of Steam, because if Steam comes into the household and you can plug it into your television set, they don't want you to be able to play the PlayStation games, even if it's a year or two afterwards. And it makes sense, because we've always talked about PlayStation is about selling the console. The console is the most important thing for them, where Xbox, it's not the most important thing. They want to just get as many users as possible, hence why they're going cloud, hence why they're going Game Pass, hence why their marketing up until 2 months ago was everything's an Xbox, right? Sony's all about the hardware, hence why they try to make the PSVR 2 work, hence why they made the Portal work, right? Hence why they changed certain things so it would work for them, because it all goes back to sell the box, keep them in the ecosystem, and so on and so forth. Well, the industry is shifting and changing. A lot more people are buying digital. They know this, right? A lot of people, their own people, that were PlayStation fans, they still are. They're just not on the PlayStation 5. They're over on the PlayStation 4. 58% of that demographic, whatever age bracket they are, they're not coming over for whatever reason. If that's first-party games, if that's the price was too expensive, if they were waiting for the price to go down while they were waiting, because most people don't buy a console until 4 or 5 years into the cycle. So these are all things that Sony is telling. They're already sending emails out. Hey, Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out. If you want to play it, you got to play on the PlayStation 5. They're like, hey, it's not coming over on PC. Our first-party title games are not coming over to PC. There's no ports for these. So they're like, okay. So obviously this is not talking about the third-party exclusive titles that they have, like Stellar Blade and stuff like that, which moved over to the other side as well. Okay. They're just talking about their first-party single-player games. So another God of War, another Last of Us, Intergalactic Prophecy, anything like that. Wolverine is just not going over, which is fine, because it wasn't going over day and date right now anyway, but their live service games were. Okay, so now they're just backing that up, seeing what goes on, because the big ticket item is Grand Theft Auto 6, right? That is the big ticket item. People will buy PlayStations because of Grand Theft Auto 6. They know this, hence why they got the marketing deal with it, hence why they're trying to wait to see out the storm of, well, let's pull this back, let's see what happens, let's see how many people buy a PlayStation that are not on PlayStation right now. Okay, they have the data. They know how many people logged into Helldivers 2 that were on PC that don't own a PlayStation. They have this data. So they're waiting, sitting back, waiting to go, okay, we're not going to send any of these first-party titles out there. So now people that are on PC are like, all right, well, I have to buy a PlayStation if I want these certain things. If it's not coming out, Grand Theft Auto is not coming out for PC on day and date, then people might buy a PlayStation or they might buy an Xbox. But the marketing deal is with PlayStation. So right now, this is what they're doing. They're sitting back going, all right, let's tell people we're not putting out our first-party titles. The biggest third-party title in the history of video games is coming out later this year. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed again, right? And they're just sitting back waiting. And I think I've always said that it's a smart business model I've always liked their model better than Xbox, where they give the game at least a year and then they put it out afterwards. Sell it on your platform first and then move it out elsewhere. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Is it a big deal that Sony is no longer doing what they didn't want to do in the first place by putting their games on PC? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. The first-party titles for your live service games are still coming. Those are not stopping because they need to make their money back with that, right? It's the first-party titles, which PlayStation guys apparently are not buying, which is amazing. I don't understand why. They say they want to buy their first-party titles, and then they only sell less than 3 million. Like, make it make sense, right? If you like your games, then buy the games. Let the developers, let Sony know that you like their games instead of not buying your first-party title games when the game comes out and waiting down the road. Again, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. All right. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Roadkill says they need to go to the top 20 games. That would be better. See, I think that this is why it's a test for the count, Roadkill. Like, they want to be transparent, but they don't want to be too transparent. because it could hurt them, right? Because it could hurt them. For instance, when they told you like Ghost of Tsushima, outsold. I'm sorry, Ghost of Yote outsold Tsushima. It did. Well, it was close in the beginning, but now it's like Tsushima is like way up, and Yote hasn't been selling. Well, that would expose them saying, "Oh yeah, it's just as good as this one," and then it wasn't. Not saying Yote is not good, but people look at it and compare it and go, "Well, did Yote outsell this?" In the same 6-month period of time, Yote is like 4 million more. So I don't know how transparent they want to be. I think they're trying to be transparent, but they don't want to be too transparent. Clip says, start showing concurrent players like Steam does. They all should do it. Stop being pussies. Altern says, do you think that the Fortnite number is correct? It's way too high. When they showed the 14.5 million, I was like, is that for all consoles or is that just for PlayStation? That's crazy if it's just for PlayStation. 14 million just for PlayStation? Because didn't that report that we saw the couple weeks ago say their concurrent for Fortnite was 14 million? And now they're saying 14 million just for PlayStation? I don't know if that's the right number. It could be. I don't know. It is a little weird though. I mean, even if take another half of that, say like 5 million to 7 million on PlayStation or on Xbox, add that to that number. So you're talking about 19 to 20, 21 million, and then you have PC. That's a lot of fucking people playing Fortnite, man. That's a lot of people. Jesse Mack says, I don't believe this. It's all digital statistics. They want you to believe this BS. I'm not buying it. Well, the good news is, Jesse, if they say something and then someone else has a list, then you can take the two data points and see. Crowded says, I don't think they're lying about Fortnite at all. That's what kids play. No, I get it, House, but 14 million. The only reason I'm a little iffy on it is because there was another report saying that total, right, across everything is 14 million. And PlayStation says 14 million there. So I don't know. Again, it's in beta, so I don't know how accurate and stuff it is, but there are numbers there. What's going on, Mr. Luke? What's going on, Benny? PlayStation 6 will be a PC like Helix, so it'll be on PC. Their PC. Justin Nuff says, I saw a cool chart on console prices after 5 years. Crowd says, I want to force people to pay their outrageous console prices. $1,000 for a box that plays games is absurd. Ron says, I'm thinking about buying an Atari Jaguar. Stop it, Ron. Kyla says, just don't want the precious single-player games to be played on the Helix. I think they're more worried about Steam. I think Steam is the big wrench in the system here. Ron says, Fair Games deserves its own personal launcher. Justin Up says, Crowded, they only seen one gold key my entire time playing. Kyle says, funny how times have changed with Sony being a negative press and fanboys revolting and Xbox only being positive right now. Very refreshing for some reason. Yeah, it is kind of weird, right? It's like we live in an alternate universe. There's a lot of fanboys that are pissed off, and we're going to talk about the next story about them raising the prices. Sony raising the price. A lot of Sony news today. It's not like I'm picking on them. I just see the stories and we talk about them daily. That's why it's called the Daily Grind. Altern says, now the Xbox marketing is secretly everything is an Xbox. Morning, Winter Rose. Winter Rose says, well, thanks, Sony. Wasn't going to buy your box now. You don't even get money from me for the games. I would have gave you. Guess you don't want my money. I'm not buying a plastic box just for a few exclusives. By the time, like this is the first PlayStation I have never owned, Winzo. This is the very first PlayStation I've never owned. Maybe I pick up a PlayStation 5 down the road, like used. Like I don't need it. And if it was on the opposite, right? If it was the opposite, if I owned a PlayStation, didn't have an Xbox, I don't need an Xbox. Do you know what I mean? I can wait. I could buy one down the road if I really wanted to, like if I was collecting it or if I wanted to play a couple games. Even though Xbox, you can play all the games on PC anyway. Kyle says, remember, guys, it's marketing conditions for digital service. That's right. Ron Slusher says, so basically a PC will never get code violet. Kyle says, do people not realize the Series S is the cheapest way to play GTA 6? Those are going to sell just as much as PlayStation. I don't know if they'll sell a lot. It all depends on how well it runs on the S. If it runs well and the reviews come out and it's running well on the S, I would say maybe you have a case. But I think a lot of people that want to play the game, I mean, obviously the S is better than what the graphics are going to be on Grand Theft Auto 5 from the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So I think you're right there. Crowd says, I played 100 hours. I have a gold key for Volt 5 in Cryo. Oh, for Marathon? You guys talk about Marathon? Warburg says, hey, now. Let's not give all the numbers. They had to cut it off. They're like, 9 and 10 are there, but no one, when he recorded it and when people are reporting on, they didn't see the 9 and 10. So anybody that's on that beta program, if you see number 9 or 10, let us know what the numbers are and what games they are. What's going on, Big Mo? Akuta Papa says the number widget is going to destroy all the narratives the fanboys put out. Yes and no. It's going to work both ways, Aku, because when a game comes out, like a brand new game comes out, and people are like, it's not selling well, and then they show you that 1.5 million people are playing it on PlayStation, they'll be like, see, they are playing it. It's not concurrent, though. It's just for that week. Waterbear says, well, isn't it 93 million PlayStations? Fortnite is free. It's over a week's time period. I can see 14 million on PlayStation. If that's true, that's fine. I just thought we saw the other report that said there was 14 million total. You know what's crazy? Right? Let me bring this number back up here. Fortnite's free, right? Fortnite's free. Let's see. Apex is free. Marvel Rivals is free. So you have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and a little bit, 18.4 million people that are on a PlayStation that are playing a free-to-play game, right? Then you got Grand Theft Auto 5 million people playing. That's a 13-year-old game, right? Battlefield's the number one selling game, but yet Call of Duty is 4 times more popular or 3 times more popular than Battlefield 6 right now, right? Call of Duty's at 4.95 million. Okay? Battlefield 6 is at 1.51 million. And there is no, at least in the top 8, there's no PlayStation games. No PlayStation games. You got 2 EA games. You got Battlefield 6. You got Apex Legends. Right? You got two Microsoft games, Minecraft and Call of Duty. That's crazy. Mr. Luke says, well, they don't have enough PlayStation 5 users and need more. Putting the PlayStation 5 exclusives on PC 6 to 12 months later, we will wait. Well, they don't want to tell you at all. They're like, they're not coming. They're not coming to the PC. Imagine what the Concord PlayStation 5 numbers would have looked like. Actually, I would love to see what that number looked like. If there was only 600 people, 678 people or whatever it was on PC, I wonder what PlayStation looked like. Jesse Max says, wait, Sony's marketing rights for GTA 6 wants PlayStation 4 guys moves over to PlayStation 5 emails by GTA 6. This is very poorly executed plan-wise. I know all of the PlayStation 4 players ain't going nowhere. They would if the prices were reasonable, right? If maybe they sweeten the deal, maybe they package it up and they bundle it. They're going to get some people to come over because people, they need they have the FOMO in them. They have to have the latest, greatest thing. Eclipse says a 24-hour peak of Fortnite as yesterday is not even 1 million. That stat is fucking lying. Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand about that number. I think this might be console, but I don't know. Like total console. You're telling me that everyone's playing Fortnite on PlayStation? I mean, I know that's a lie because I know a lot of people that play it on, the Switch and the fucking cloud and Xbox and people who think the PlayStation 6 is going to be $600 or $700 is lying is living in a fantasy. Kyle says, I don't think the normies care. They see they can get play GTA 6 and it's $200 cheaper. It's a no-brainer for them. True. You're not wrong, Kylo. I just think a mass majority of people, if they need it, they might go that route. I don't think the mass majority. I think the small majority will be like, yeah, you know what, I really need it, and they'll buy it. I don't think there's going to be like a huge sale. All of a sudden, like 10 million Xboxes are sold. The S's are sold because of Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. Eclipse says none of them are going to hit 60 frames per second, so it just matters about what resolution you want to play at. Just Nub says, doesn't matter how well the little bro Series S runs GTA 6, it runs hotcakes. Look, I hope you guys are right. I hope you guys are right. Can you imagine? Let's go with this theory that you guys have. Let's go with this theory you have. I like it. Let's talk about it. Okay. Let's say the Xbox Series S. How much is the Xbox Series S right now? Right? Xbox Series S price. Okay, $400 to $450. Right? It is the cheapest. $512. Okay, they're only buying the game for that. They're only buying the system for the one game, right? So let's go with this. Let's go with this theory. Xbox, who has zero marketing rights to Grand Theft Auto 6. People that do have the marketing rights, PlayStation, people are going to see it and go, it's on PlayStation. They're going to be like, I'm not paying $900. Or what's the price for the PlayStation, just the PlayStation 5 price? The bare bone. $600. Right? So the PS5 Digital Edition Slim is $600. So in this world, PlayStation markets Grand Theft Auto 6, and more people buy a $200 less Xbox console. And now Xbox all of a sudden goes from 28 million sales to, let's say, I don't know, 35, 40 million sales. That would be hilarious. Do you understand how hilarious that would be? That the one company that has the marketing rights is marketing Grand Theft Auto 6, and more people buy Grand Theft Auto 6 on the non-marketing console and the lowest tier that doesn't have the best graphics. That would speak volumes, okay? Throughout, waves would shatter through the industry, meaning people don't care about the 60 frames per second. They don't care about how high fidelity is. They just want a good price, and they just want to play the game. That would be huge. I think the companies value daily active users more than the concurrent player base. Kyle says, my friend, buddy, old pal, people who just want to play Grand Theft Auto 6 won't care. I promise you. The only way GTA 6 hits 30 on the S is if it's streamed. There's no way the graphic fidelity for that game is way too high. Yeah, Red Dead 2 ran fine on it. Roadkill says PlayStation 4 players will upgrade eventually. You're absolutely right. Eventually, I think they're also going to keep the PlayStation 4 forever. Come on, guys. You're funny. No, I think they would upgrade. They 100% would upgrade, Roadkill. But they're not going to upgrade for $600. They're not going to upgrade for $900. That's where you're not justifying the people. People didn't buy the PlayStation 5 when it came out because it was expensive. It was $500, right? It was $500 and $700. They're like, I'll wait a couple years, and then I'll buy it. That's what they all do. People that don't have a lot of money for stuff like this, they wait. And they're like, I'll wait 2, 3, 4 years, get it secondhand, get it on sale. But the sale never happened. So these people are like, now I got to pay $200 extra. And that goes across the board. Xbox as well, right? These people are paying $200 extra. They're not going to do it. The mass majority will not spend more money to get the same thing they could have gotten for cheaper. This is not a PlayStation thing or an Xbox thing. This is an industry thing. People that are on the old systems were waiting for the price to go down. That's how it works, right? They were even waiting for the price to go down when the PlayStation 5 Pro came out, and that the lower one never went down. It just stayed exactly where it was. Usually they bring the other one out. That's the price of that. They slide the other one over. They've been doing it for decades, and they didn't do that. They need to do it down to like $200. If they get it down to 500, that would be the sweet spot. Kyle says Black Friday deals for the Xbox console right after GTA 6 releases. Series S will be back to 300 new. That would fly off the shelves if that's true. Shadow says, I wouldn't be surprised if it runs 30 frames per second on all consoles. Yeah, I would say at launch, and then they would do some sort of update afterwards, perhaps. Warburg says GTA players on PlayStation 4 will upgrade to the Steam machine because they're going to do a day and date on PC. Watch. Well, remember what I said the other day? What about if the Steam machine is not counted as a PC, as people are not counting it as PC? Because it is like a lower tier, you know? So it doesn't come out for PC, but it comes out for the Steam machine. GTA 6, right, because people on PC want like 120 frames, uncapped frame rates and stuff like that. It comes to Steam, it's at 30, it's at 60 frames. Roadkill says, I don't know why anybody would want to try to play GTA 6 on a Series S, but you could say the same thing. Why would anyone want to play the Grand Theft Auto 6 on a console? Why would they play it on a PC? If you want the best, then you have to go get it. Right? Like, think of the mindset you're saying. Because of people's budget. That's why. Crowded says, imagine raising the prices of old tech. I swear people are so fucking dumb. They have no integrity at all. Shadow says some idiots will spend the money no matter what the price. Absolutely, Shadow. What I'm saying is some people in chat are saying the majority of people will go buy it. They won't. They didn't buy it now, right? And I do say majority because 58%. I'll stay on this number. Xbox was 47%. PlayStation was 58%. Of the people didn't move over from Xbox One to the next Xbox series, right? People on PlayStation 4 didn't move over to PlayStation 5, right? The majority of people were like, yeah, I'm not moving over. They were waiting for the price to go down. It never went down. Kyle says, all you're getting is some better shadows, textures on the PlayStation 5 Pro. It'd still be 30 frames per second. I mean, I can see them going to 60 frames per second, but it's going to generate frames. You know what I mean? Kyle says, you know how many dads who haven't gamed since GTA 5 are going to go to Walmart and buy the cheapest system to play GTA 6? It's funny you say that, Kylo. My brother-in-law is one of them. My brother-in-law is one of those exact people you just said, right? We were just talking this weekend when we were at his son's birthday party, right? He's like, hey, I heard, because he doesn't follow a lot of this stuff, right? He's like, I heard Grand Theft Auto is coming out. I said, yeah, it's coming out in November, supposedly, right? He goes, what do I need to play it? I said, well, you need to buy a new system. He's like, okay, what system? I said, you can get the PlayStation, you can get the PlayStation 5 Pro, you can get the Xbox S or X. He's like, well, what does that cost? And I told him the prices, and he's like, Jesus Christ, right? Now, this is a guy that can pay the $900, okay? But what comes into in his mind is he hasn't played a lot of games. So for his justification to pay for $900 for one game, okay, that's insane, right? By his words, he says that's insane. And then he says, what is the cheapest? I said, you can get the S. I said, the cheapest is you can borrow my Xbox, is what I said. I said, if you really want to, you can just borrow my Xbox, because he'll sit down and play it, and play it, and play it, and play it, and then he'll be done, right? For him to justify to get $900 or $800 or $700 just for the Grand Theft Auto 6, in his head, he's like, it's not worth it. So he'll wait. Like, he's waited. He's still on the fucking 360. He didn't get a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, right? But he likes Grand Theft Auto. They will optimize the game for the S. It may not look as good, but it plays well. They will just go the route and just play it. Shadow says, I didn't get the GTA on PC until they gave it away for free on Epic Game Store. I still have not played it. Crowded says there was no mad rush to buy the PlayStation 5 Pro before they raised the price. Why would they buy it now? That's what I'm saying. Crowd says they also know that GTA is coming out, and they made a price increase announcement. I'm sure some people bought it, but I'm also sure it wasn't as many people as they thought. I would say a couple million people bought it before the price went up. Let's say like 2-3 million. Right? Look, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. And you're definitely not going to make more money. If you didn't have the money before to buy it, you're not going to have the money now to buy it. Kyle says, right, I could buy it, but I'm not paying for one game. Does he have time to play games? Probably not, I'm assuming. He does, but doesn't. So he makes time. There's 2 games he plays. 2 games he plays, right? He plays the college football. He's a huge college football guy, okay? But he didn't buy the new college football for the new system. He just keeps playing the old college football game, right? Loves college football, but he's like, I'm not buying a new system just for the one game. Well, now he's got 2 games, right? He could get the college football game, and then he can get the Grand Theft Auto game, and he has time to play. Like the average adult, Water, not in this room, right? The average adult has 2 to 4 hours a week to play, right? So him buying a $900 system to play Grand Theft Auto, let's just say 4 hours a week, right? It would take him a really long time to beat the game, right? Really long time. Like, so much so I said you could just borrow mine, or if you want to come over and just play it, whatever, just do it, right? He is the average person. That is the average gamer. Not the gamer that's here watching a podcast talking about video games, right? Not watching YouTube 24/7, looking at all the reviews, right? The average person. We are the small minority that do this. We think it's a much bigger scope because we're always in it. Warbear says, let's say 30 of us are all busy adults who's make time to play games. We don't believe that GTA will move systems, but the industry is banking on it to do otherwise. They're banking on a lot of people because of the factor of what it sold over the last 13 years. Right? You understand that? They're banking on it because of what happened last time. There are games that come out, the sequels, that suck less than the rest, right? Obviously, if the game comes out and it is amazing, like the last ones, there are still people that don't like Grand Theft Auto. There are also people that buy it because they just get pulled into the advertisement or whatever. Majority of gamers do not buy Grand Theft Auto, even though Grand Theft Auto is the biggest IP that's ever sold. The biggest piece of entertainment ever sold, right? People are not going to go buy a $900 system, $800 system, $700 system. That's not the majority of people. Are there going to be people that buy it? Yes, 100%. Krebsy says, chat is drunk high, hit the head, sick with the flu, full-blown retardation of thinking GTA 6 will be 30 frames per second. Shadow says it'll be moved systems, just not as many as they would like. That's another thing, right? You got to remember that the sales number, again, I still think that Grand Theft Auto will sell most pre-orders, most day one, most week one, most month one, most year one, right? I've stayed that for years now. I stay by that, okay? But Grand Theft Auto, when it came out on the 360 and the PlayStation 3, there was 160, 170 million units at the time when it came out between Xbox and PlayStation, right? That was a huge chunk of people that had it. Then that was at the tail end of that system. And then it moved over to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, right? PlayStation 4 went on to go sell a shit ton, right? And then the Xbox sold decently. And then it went to PC 18 months after the launch. Then it got updated again, right? Now it's on the Xbox Series S, X, and PlayStation 5. 3 generations for one game. Yeah, that's why it keeps selling. I own 3 copies of Grand Theft Auto. I owned it on the 360, I owned it on PC, and I owned it on the other Xbox One, right? Three times I bought it. I can say the same about Krebsy. History shows when they first put the game on the console, it's 30 frames per second. Red Dead Redemption 2 is still 30 frames per second here on console. Roadkill says, I heard that the new GTA, you'll be able to play basketball like the NBA games inside of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, I justified buying a Switch originally, Water, because of, right? That was my deal. I was like, hey, we can get our son a Nintendo Switch. And I was like, and then I can get Ultimate Alliance 4. the justification. Shadow says, I heard the GTA is so advanced, the game plays you. Rowick says they're trying to make more money on the tail end instead of making it up front. They're doing it backwards, and the people are not going for it. We'll see what happens. Again, two things can be the same, right? The selling the most copies, doing all the stuff, they can do it. But at the same time, also not selling as many, right? More than any other game, but less than what the other game did. At this point, GTA 6 gets the Chuck Norris memes. Speaking of the Switch, can anyone recommend a place that doesn't repairs or does repairs? Okay, what's the problem with your? My best friend just had a problem with his original Switch, and when he went to go fix it, it was something to do with wasn't the Joy-Cons. It was something else to go on. I forget what the actual problem is. I don't know if he's listening in the background in lurk mode, but something was wrong with it and he couldn't fix it. And the guy said, I could fix it for you, but it's just cheaper to buy a new Switch. So I don't know. Let's see here. I thought it was the battery. It won't power on. Ooh, I think that's the same problem. They couldn't boot up the system or something. You might have to buy a new Switch, or it's going to cost you almost the same price of a Switch. All right, what else we got here? We talked about the numbers. We talked about the no first-party titles. Oh, and we got the last one, which is Sony PlayStation accounts are reportedly being hacked with ease. So if you're on PlayStation, we literally have a song. Do we have it here?
Just a quiet night, I was feeling fine. Booted up my PlayStation, about to get online. Then I saw the error like a ghost in the night. PSN was down, man, this ain't right. Check my phone, Twitter's on fire. Sony says don't worry, we're working on the wires. 20 hours later, what do we get? 5 free days, man, that's some bullshit. Oh no, Sony got hacked again. Servers are down and they don't know.
There you go. The servers aren't down, but Sony PlayStation accounts are reportedly being hacked with ease. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, we just cover news stories, have conversations. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Reports are flooding in that PlayStation users are allegedly having a PSN account hacked. And the workaround for this is worryingly easy, which could something that Sony needs to address immediately. A flood of Sony and PlayStation news has hit the headlines as late. PlayStation is exploring a reveal of older IPs, and PlayStation Plus price is increasing. These points, both good and bad, pale in comparison to the idea that the PlayStation Network account could be compromised at any minute. PlayStation's security issue is endangering all PSN accounts. Isn't that nice? They wanted you to sign up for all those PlayStation accounts from Helldivers 2 and God of War and all these other things, and then just easy to get hacked into. Awareness of the issue first came in the light of Colin Marinari The self-proclaimed godfather of PlayStation podcast posted on X about the message exchange he had. A former IGN editor, founding Kind of Funny member, Moriarty, had given his eye-opening message from a user who was also hacked, saying that, Colin, I'm just warning you that they have your information and they're always going to try to take your account today. This came in fruition, and Moriarty's account was hacked. He says, my PlayStation account was hacked seamlessly as part of an ongoing series of moves against both random and prominent users. Indeed, it was also told by somebody a few days ago that I was going to be targeted. And he was right. He was also hacked. Colin, I'm just warning you that I have information that you're going to try to take all your accounts today. Thanks for the heads up. I actually changed my password recently. I have two-factor authorization, so there's literally nothing else for me to do. If they what it is, shitty as it can be, hopefully nothing comes of it. Well, it did. Thankfully, after using the PlayStation contacts, he's been able to retrieve his account, but not many will be that fortunate, right? You got to be some large podcaster that's been in the business for a couple of decades before they actually they can get to you. It says, on X, shared some details discussing the incredibly small amount of details required to infiltrate the PlayStation account right now. Only your PlayStation ID on one piece of old transaction data are needed by the hacker. The hacker then contacts Sony support, provides the information as proof of ownership. Sony's support system then bypasses standard protocols, lets the hacker change the email address linked to their account. It's also disables the two-factor authorization. There are also examples of this by Moriarty, is likely considered a more high-profile target. Probably doesn't help that he has also a PlayStation ID in his X bio. If you're doing something similar, you might also want to consider hiding the information. We're waiting on Sony to respond for this turn of events. Please share. So there you go. This is also an alarming development. It's incredible how often Sony accounts and the services are targeted. Let us know if you have any issues with the PlayStation account via Inside Gaming Discord. So there you go. If you are on a PlayStation account, your account can be hacked because of certain things. So make sure, right? Make sure you're just going in. This is not to shit on Sony. This is to let you know if you are a Sony player that you might want to maybe change your password or moves things off certain things. Maybe you're not as prominent as Colin here, but at the same time, just another thing that hacker. Now, obviously, why does Sony get hacked more than anybody else? It's because they have the most users. This is the same example I did with back in the day when we're talking about PC to Apple computers. Everyone's like, oh, no, Apple doesn't get hacked. No, Apple does get hacked. It's just less people are using Apples back in the day. So it didn't have as many viruses and hacks on there. But today is a completely different story. A lot of people still use Apple, and they do get hacks and they do get viruses because now people write codes for those things. So just be careful out there. This is more of a public service announcement. If you think that your account might be, you got a weird email or something like that, just go change it. Be safe so your stuff doesn't get taken from you. That's all. It's more of a public service announcement. All right. Shadow says, PlayStation Network has the worst security ever. I think all of them are pretty shitty. I'll be honest with you. They also claim they have security features that also do little to protect you. I was watching a podcast. I can't remember what it was. It had nothing to do with video games. I forget if it was Joe Rogan or if it was somebody else. There was a prominent guy talking about cybersecurity. And what he said, literally just like, he was like, it doesn't really matter how much security you have. None of these companies are really protecting you. They could just get, destroyed in 3 seconds if they really wanted to, right? And I was just like, Jesus, then what's the point of doing it? Because it's a big business, right? It's a big business for security, right? Because they want your information. They want all that other stuff. So if a hacker really wants to get your stuff, they're going to get your stuff. Kyle says, let's charge more for a console, but not update anything on our end, and also still get hacked on the ease. Yeah, I got set up my password, my PlayStation account. You didn't buy whatever. Mr. Z says, if Sony support lets you change your email address and disables the 2K authorization, so clueless. They're like, are you such and such? I am. All right, that's good enough for me. We're going to need a fingerprint and a scan. I'm just going to put it out there. They do have a thumbprint stuff that they did patent, and the biometric stuff for PlayStation. Maybe, just maybe, this is done on purpose. Tinfoil hat. Okay, so they can push the biometric stuff. That way, you cannot be hacked because now you need to put your thumbprint or your face scan or your eye retina scan. Not that nobody can just take a picture of your eye and then do it. Ron says it's depressing knowing I'm not popular enough to be hacked. Oh, God, I never thought about it that way, Ron. It's almost a blessing, actually. They need some sort of breathalyzer. Yeah, before you can play your game, you have to blow your PlayStation. Yeah, please blow harder into the PlayStation, and you have to. And it says no, not hard enough, and you're like, right, and you gotta get down on your knees and you gotta blow your PlayStation to make sure that you are who you say you are. Oh, Mr. Z, they all do it. That's why I'm not picking up. I'm not saying that PlayStation. I'm just saying in general, they all do the same fucking thing. And then on the screen, crowded, right? On the screen, it says, right, blow into the annoying speaker on the controller. It says, at the end, it says, thanks for blowing us, Sony. Everyone's like, oh, God, it's me, right? You literally have to blow Sony so you can play your video games. Oh man, can someone make a video? Are people doing sketch comedy still? Can we get sketch comedy of someone doing that? I mean, you can do it with AI and stuff now, right? That'd be amazing. You turn your box on, it goes. Brrr. It says, "Please blow me," and you're like, "Blow harder." Almost. We're satisfied. Thanks for blowing us. All right. The next thing I want to watch, we're going to watch Big Fry TV talking about Hell Let Loose Vietnam. The video is called Hell Let Loose Vietnam is Not Ready. Now, I happened to watch a little bit of it. I didn't watch all of it. Okay. And he hasn't played it, but he has people, because he knows a lot of people. People have spoken to him and said that this game's not ready. Okay. Now, there's an open beta coming out, but let's hear it from Mr. Big Fry TV here, and we'll have a conversation about it as we go. Links in the description down below. Big Fry TV and all the news and stories that we talk about are in the description down below. All right, so here we go.
You guys hear that? The sound of chopper blades flying through the jungles with Creedence Clearwater Revival playing on the radio. The sound of your boys getting skull fucked by napalm. What the fuck? Oh, sorry. That's from tomorrow's video. That's Hell
Oh, what was that? That game looked weird.
Let Loose Vietnam, and we just got word it's launching June 18th.
Okay, so we are 1 month away from the launch of Hell Let Loose Vietnam. Okay? 1 month away from the launch of Vietnam, Hell Let Loose. And the beta is next weekend. So like a week and a half from now, we have a beta test going on. And it launches 2 weeks after that, or 18 days after that. Do you guys smell that? Do you smell that? I smell it. I think we all smell it.
Damn, that's a little sooner than I expected, considering the fact that only 2 or 3 weeks ago, they just had their closed beta test. And listen, I've been hearing some mixed things about it.
What's the rush? Why are you trying to get this out so fast? Get it out and then fix it over the next 12 to 18 months? Sounds about right.
I wasn't able to get in myself. I haven't played the game, but from what I've been told from people who have, you know, I didn't really miss much. And because I haven't played it, the gameplay on screen is courtesy of IGN, so don't blame me for...
Yeah. For journalist gameplay?
You know, journalistic gameplay. Now, here's the thing. I didn't think Hell Let Loose Vietnam was launching this soon. I assumed we're doing a closed beta test now. We might get an open beta test in the summer, and then we might see the game release in October or November.
No, first, not only do you need to blow left to right, but you have to you gotta hold the controller. You gotta hold the controller like this. And you gotta cup it. You gotta cup it, and then you gotta.
November. Maybe they're trying to avoid the Grand Theft Auto 6 launch. I have no idea, but I didn't expect it to launch in June. And as far as I'm aware, we're also getting an open beta sometime here soon. We're probably going to see the open beta happen around Summer Games Fest, and then a couple weeks from there is going to be the launch. I have a lot of concerns. Okay, I'm excited.
I have concerns before I even saw it. When they announced Hell Let Loose Vietnam, I was concerned. Because I've played other Vietnam games, and I'm like, this Hell Let Loose, this is gonna be interesting. They're gonna have to nerf and buff and fix a lot of stuff.
Don't get me wrong, I'm very excited for Hell Let Loose Vietnam. I've actually
you gotta cup it, and then you gotta move the analog sticks, Mr. Z. You gotta tickle it a little bit.
Been dabbling back into.
You gotta make sure that Sony's satisfied.
To Hell Let Loose. We have a community event this weekend. If you guys are watching this, it's happening May 15th, Friday night. The Discord community is going to come together. We're going to play some Hell Let Loose. And then, you know, we announced that the other day, and then now we're here with the announcement of Vietnam pretty much on the heels. It's on the front porch, ready to kick the door in. But what scares me is you can go to pretty much all of the YouTubers who did put videos out about the closed beta. They were able to talk about their experiences. And as far as I'm aware, a lot of the gameplay that they have in those videos was provided by Team 17.
Which is not good. It's not a good sign, right? It's not a good sign because if they're providing the footage, right, that means they're hiding something or they don't want to show it to you, right? If you want to go play it, you could talk about it, right? You could talk about it, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. If you tell me that James Bond is the most stealthy game, and man, I had such a good time going stealth, but then they show the gameplay, and they don't really show the stealth, but they did, and we saw it. Okay? You can't tell me it's a good stealth game. You can't tell me it's a good stealth game. But if you provide footage and doesn't show the thing, okay, then that's a red flag, right? As you said, Crowder, right? Right? That's a red flag. If you're providing footage, but I can talk about the game, but you're providing the footage, it doesn't come out the same. Right? If I have a picture of showing you something and I captured it and I could talk about it, and then I'm talking about it, but they captured it and give me footage, it doesn't come across the same. So there's something off already. They're rushing this game out. They announced it last year. We thought maybe it was coming out later this year. Now the beta comes out, open beta. Well, they have a closed beta. Open beta comes out in a week and a half. And then the game comes out just 18 days after that.
But when you scroll down through the comments on every one of these videos, there's a lot of people chiming in.
And here's the reason I bring stuff up like this, right? Obviously, I can't play all the games. I can't do all the things, but I am trying to help educate, not protect, right? You do what you want with your money. But if you watch me and we talk about certain things and they're going to be broke and buggy and unfinished, okay? That if you watch me and you know this and then you still go buy it and then tell me that it's broke, right? That's not on me anymore, right? I try to at least tell you, hey, don't get this game right away because it's not going to be good. Now, by all means, the open beta comes out. It's open. Go play it. Go try it. Go see it yourself, right? And then report back to me because I won't be able to play it. Then report back to me and tell me, yeah, this game needs 6, 8, 12 months. Because I can tell you right now, this game's going to need 6, 8, 12 months. Not because of the footage I've seen, because I know what they've done to Hell Let Loose originally. And you think they're going to change? No. That is the game plan. The game plan is release the game, listen to feedback, and then fix the game so the community feels like they're listening and they're fixing it as, you know, we're one community and we're building it together. But we all know what it actually is. An incomplete, broke, buggy game that shouldn't have been launched this year.
Saying that the game needs a lot of work. This comment here from Famalamalamanan 1800.
What is that?
The game needs a lot of work. This comment here from
Famalama Lamanama. 1,800 hours and held it loose. Played a lot this weekend. Vietnam needs a lot of work before release. Honestly, not confident it will. It's going to need about 6 to 12 months of updates before it reaches the polish. This is a person that played the game. This isn't a beta issue. It's a core issue like gunplay and balancing. And tunnels are ridiculous and need to got to be nerfed. Very short distance of travel.
Famalamalamanan 1,800 hours and held let loose. Played a lot this weekend. This was 2 weeks ago, keep in mind. Vietnam needs a lot of work before release, and honestly not confident it will. It's going to need about 6 to 12 months of updates before it reaches the...
Only 6 to 12 months. Only 6 to 12. I like what Waterbear's saying. 18 to 24, probably. Yeah.
Polish of Hell Let Loose. This isn't a beta issues, it's core issues like gunplay as well as balancing. And apparently a big complaint that I keep seeing from a bunch of different people is that the tunnels in the game are a fast travel system. It's not like actual tunnels. And apparently they need to be nerfed. They're fucking crazy to be, you know, shorter distances of travel. This comment under the same video, this is from Marty. He says, this was an absolute mess. Feels way more like a pre-alpha than a beta.
Oof.
And next month will be an open beta. I don't...
Hold on a second. Hold on. We're trying to get back to the... Oh, for fuck's sake. This was an absolute mess. Feels way more like a pre-alpha and a beta than a beta. Next month, it will be open beta. Guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed that they won't fix 90% of these issues in a month. They're probably going to release this mess to the masses with an open beta, and then it will destroy any goodwill, okay, they had. People will see how nowhere near being finished enough for an open beta and bounce. Mark my words. Hell, I didn't even play it. I already think that. I thought that when they announced it because of what they did to Hell Let Loose. Don't get me wrong, I love Hell Let Loose, but I also waited and waited and waited and waited and waited.
Feels way more like a pre-alpha than a beta, and next month will be an open beta. I don't know when. The open beta has to be happening during Summer Games Fest, right? He says,
so no, right? So he made this video, but when he made this video, they've already announced when the game comes out and when the open beta is happening.
Guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed that they won't fix 90% of these issues in a month. They're probably going to release this mess to the masses with the open beta, and they will destroy any goodwill that they had. People will see how it's nowhere near being finished enough for an open beta and bounce. Mark my words. And see, for me, I hate making videos like this because A, I don't have any firsthand experience with the game. I can't say...
What's the history of Hell Let Loose? Hell Let Loose was a crowdfunded game. And then when it came out, it was underperformed, underwhelming. They had good parts of it, right? Because obviously, when Hell Let Loose came out, we were all waiting for Battlefield to become a better game. And there's things in the game that Hell Let Loose does is great, but the fundamentals of Hell Let Loose are always like broke. They run like shit, right? But the fun factor is it gets you through most of it, but then they fuck it up again when they do an update. Constantly fucking it up. And then constantly lying to them, or them meaning us, the player base. And then they're like, oh, we hear you. We're fixing it. We're changing it. That's the MO. And that's what it is, right? Obviously, Hell Let Loose is my first experience with them. And I like Hell Let Loose, but I'm also not doing it again. I'm not doing what I went through with Hell Let Loose the first time to go do it the second time. I'll wait for a complete game. I'll wait for a broke and buggy game to get fixed. I'll wait the 12 to 18 to 24 months before they fix it. I'll wait for a steep sale. Now, see, here's the difference. If it's a full price game or even a $50 game and it's broken, buggy, and I got to wait 2 years, then I will wait 12 months and then buy it at an extremely low discount, and then I'll buy it because I refuse to give you full price, right? No pre-orders, no day one, no full price for your half-assed game.
Sit here and tell you, yeah, that's exactly. I don't know. I have to go off the community reception to the beta, and so far it's not sounding great, but at the same time, there are people bringing up good points to the contrary to say that obviously, like, Hell Let Loose has been out since, what, 2017, 2018. It's had years and years.
Do you see what people are doing? He's not doing it. He's reporting what other people are doing. Do you see what people are doing? They're like, well, you can't compare it to Hell Let Loose. That's been out since 2018. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? You're giving them... This is not early access. This is not early access. The beta, open beta comes out. The game launches June 18th. Not early access, right? Not a beta program, not a preview program. The game launches June 18th. So when people say, well, you can't compare it to Hell Let Loose, you fucking ain't right, you can, right? You can 100% compare it to a game that's been out for 8 years, and the next game you should make should be complete and not like the last game that you did.
Of work put into it to expect, you know, Hell Let Loose Vietnam to be at that same level right off rip. It's not gonna be that way. But at the same time, Hell Let Loose Vietnam isn't launching into early access when it comes out on June 18th. We have to remember, Hell Let Loose, the first one, was kickstarted. It went to early access. It was in development for years. They built it up. They polished it up. So, of course, it had...
Yeah, for like 3 years. This time, they're like, you know what? Let's keep it in early access, but let's call it a full release, and we'll do the exact same thing we did with Hell Let Loose, only this time, we'll get our money up front.
Years of development because the game was essentially nothing when it first came out. And what I don't want to see is Hell Let Loose Vietnam be in a similar position, but not labeled as such. And of course,
that's the biggest thing. The labeling of games now, right? There's no difference between early access, preview program, alpha, beta, right? None of them. They're all the exact same. Unfinished, we'll fix it with a roadmap down the road 12, 18, 24 months later, right? So here's the additions, right? The additions content, meaning they're selling a standard edition. They're selling a pre-order standard edition with extra stuff. They're selling a deluxe edition with the base game and extra things, meaning they're selling a full, complete game. And yet, for some strange reason, I guarantee you it's not going to come out complete.
We have the deluxe editions. We have the pre-orders being pushed super hard. If you pre-order the game, you get the U.S. Army boat crew. You get field supplies. I don't know what all of that stuff is. But they have a standard edition. They have a deluxe edition.
It delivered Q3 2026 and delivered Q4 2026, right? So you're not getting this part here. So buy the deluxe edition. But you're not getting this piece here until Q3 2026, and you're not getting this piece down here until Q4 2026. And don't worry, the game will be fixed well after, like 2027. I guarantee you they're trying to get this out before, okay, the Grand Theft Auto cycle comes in.
They have physical editions coming to the game later on in the summer for PlayStation and Xbox. So this feels to me like a
Yeah, but it's not early access though, Argus. Hell Let Loose Vietnam is not in early access. It's coming out June 18th. Full release, gold.
A full-scale launch of a video game without early access going into that live service thing. And what I don't want to fucking see is Hell Let Loose Vietnam launch in a shitty spot with performance and bugs and
He's saying it, and he knows it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. You all know it's going to happen. The only person that doesn't know it's going to happen is Dustin in chat.
A multitude of issues, and then they have to spend the next year or so fixing those fucking issues before we can even get into what most players now expect as a live service game where you have new content, you have new maps, guns, weapon, all that stuff. I want this game to launch with its best foot forward.
Me too.
And from everything that I am seeing online,
I want to buy it. I want to buy it day one, but I can't.
From players who have actually put hands on, it's not looking good. As somebody who backed the original Hell Let Loose that was made by Black Matter back in the day, that is also not the same dev team that is a part of Vietnam. Those guys have broken off. They made their own game. They're making Hunger. I don't know if you guys knew that. I have a video on that on this channel as well. So I can't even sit here and say, look, I've seen what these guys can do, where they took Hell Let Loose to where it is now. I can't even say that because it's not the same people. It's not the same team. And so, look, I'm sitting here torn because this is one of my most anticipated shooters of the year. I want this game to go over so well. I've been having a blast playing Hell Let Loose again, and I know when this...
Hell Let Loose now is a fantastic game. Does it have problems? Yes. But the fundamental base of the game is fantastic. It's a great game. But does it have problems? It does. And Vietnam's going to have problems too.
Comes out, the hype is going to be huge, and I want to take advantage of that with my community. I want to host community events. I want to get a server going. I just really need the game to be in a good spot. I really need that to happen. The fact that I haven't been able to touch the game yet, yeah,
it feels good. It's a fantastic game, especially when you play with a group of people that are all communicating. You can't replicate that. It feels so good.
I have no idea what to expect going into it. We're just going to have to wait for the open beta. But what I don't want to see is an open beta happen 2 weeks before launch, but I think that's exactly what's going on. The release date is faster than I thought it was going to be. And the fact that I can now say that the open beta is absolutely useless in terms of gathering feedback. This is your tried and true AAA open beta where they just want to get pre-orders, and it's going to work. It's one of those things where there's nothing, I'm not going to sit here and try to jump up onto a soapbox and say, guys, no pre-orders. We need to wait and see.
Go do what you want. Go do what you want. I always say it. I'm giving you information. If you want to go buy the game, buy the game. But if it's broke, buggy, and unfinished, don't come to me and say, well, it's not working. It's not working. Enjoy your broken game. If it's broke. If it's not broke, by all means, buy it. This is why. Don't pre-order. Play the open beta. Play the open beta. If you're interested in this game, go try it out for yourself. If it's fantastic, then make the purchase. If it's not fantastic and there's problems with the thing, do not gift them money for you to wait for the actual final product.
They've already probably sold 100,000 fucking units since this announcement. It literally doesn't matter. From my perspective...
No, it does matter, though. It does matter. Because they could have sold 300,000. They could have sold 500,000. They could have sold 1 million units. Right? It does matter.
I'm giving you guys my opinions on it. I am going to be playing the game at launch. I'm going to be trying the open beta. I really just need this game to actually be in a good state when it comes out. Because if it's not, that fucking sucks. And we also have to consider the fact that their biggest competition is launching just a few weeks before that on May 22nd, Beyond Enemy Lines V.
Wait a minute. There's another Vietnam game coming out? And it's coming out May 22nd? So they're not only trying to beat Grand Theft Auto to come out, they're in competition with another Vietnam game that's coming out this week? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird how that works? So they're rushing their game out because they don't want Vietnam to beat them to the punch, even though they beat them to the punch by a month. Man, I hope that this game is in good position as well. Like, is it complete? Is it not broke or buggy? It's going to be very interesting. I didn't even know about this game.
Vietnam. We have another Vietnam shooter that I think Hell Let Loose needs to be a little bit concerned about when you watch the trailer. Take a look.
No fully destructible environment, though.
It's going to be a bloodbath for Vietnam shooters this year. Am I right, fellas?
Nice pun. Decent pun.
As always, my name is Big Fry. I want to know what you guys think. I know a lot of you guys are excited for Hell Let Loose Vietnam. Is this surprising to you? Are you...
I mean, surprising to me that there's another Vietnam game. I didn't know about that. Okay. Not surprising is them rushing the game out incomplete. Again, haven't seen it. Haven't seen game footage of it because they won't show it. Red flag number one. Red flag number two is that they're doing an open beta just 2.5 weeks before the actual launch. Red flag number 2. Red flag number 3 is the past history of Hell Let Loose not being complete and then fixing it over a long period of time. And red flag number 4, not the same people making Vietnam that made Hell Let Loose.
Going in expecting the worst. I mean, look, I'm a jaded, cynical man in my mid-30s who has just...
I'm the exact same, but in my late 40s.
Seen the industry slip and slip and slip, and I've been constantly disappointed and disappointed and disappointed. Maybe I'm just cynical. Maybe I'm being overtly negative here. I don't know. Bring me back down to the ground, ladies and gentlemen, and let me know if you're excited about the game. Are you nervous? Did you get a chance to play?
No, I'm not nervous. Nervous would mean I actually cared about the actual thing. Like, I want to like Hell Let Loose Vietnam. I'm a fan of Hell Let Loose, but I'm not afraid because I know exactly what they're going to do because the template's already set for these games.
The Hell Let Loose Vietnam closed beta. If you can talk about it, I need you to sound off down below because this community needs to know what we're getting into when we go to launch. Summer Games Fest is right around the corner.
The problem though, Water, is that Hell Let Loose is a much slower paced game than a Battlefield. So not only are you trying to, I think more people, now War Dogs, that's another game that we talked about a couple weeks ago that's coming out, that I feel could pull a lot more people that like this type of game into that game than into this game.
I am going to be live doing the Xbox Showcase, the Summer Games Fest. We're doing Summer Glaze Fest 2026, and we're doing it big, ladies and gentlemen. And I have a feeling that during that time, we're going to see the open beta for Hell Let Loose. If there is, we're going to be doing live streams of it. I am going to be watching the coverage of this game very, very closely. So make sure you guys are subscribed for everything Hell Let Loose Vietnam. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, my name is Big Fry, the jaded, cynical YouTuber that you have grown.
I mean, I'm jaded and cynical as well, and nobody knows me except the small amount of people in my channel in my chat, which I do appreciate, by the way. Give it a like, give it a sub. Go to Big Fry TV. We like watching his stuff. He's putting his money where his mouth is. He's a designer of a game as well, right? YouTuber. I like the stuff that he covers. I like that he reminds me of me when I was that age. You know what I mean? Like, he just straight shooter, says how it is, no filter type of thing. So I like Big Fry TV. Just go check out his channel. Link in the description down below. Yeah, the problem is with Hell Let Loose, man, is that we want to love what we love. And there's no more disappointment than when a game that you love or a franchise that you love comes out and it's a shell of what it was prior. Right? We just want to be treated respect. We want our respect, our time respected. And if I buy a game, if it's Hell Let Loose, if it's any other game that comes out broke, buggy, and unfinished, right? And this is not even about a AAA thing anymore, right? This is just about a game. They're taking advantage of the system of going, oh, well, early access, preview program, open beta, right? Whatever they call it, it comes out and they're like, we hear you. We hear what you're saying. We're fixing it. Here's a roadmap of what we're fixing. It's like, why did I pay even the half price? Right? I don't even know what does Vietnam cost? Is it $40, $50 game? $40, right? $40 for the standard edition, $60 for the deluxe edition. Now you pay $60 for the deluxe edition, and you have to wait 6 months to get the rest of the content. Right? If you get the standard edition, which is $40, you still have to wait for that other stuff, but you have to pay for it afterwards, right? Because you don't even get that included. You just get the standard game, right? And you have to wait for the game to be fixed because the standard game is still going to be broke. The deluxe edition is still going to be broke. You just get more stuff. So it's a $60 game to get all the content by the end of Q4 of 2026. Intrigued by the game, probably won't pick it up until it's on sale or has decent reviews. I would wait. Hell Let Loose 1, when it first came out, had a lot of problems. I'm assuming this one is going to have the exact same problems because why not? So you could wait 2 years before you pick this up on sale. Let's see. Yeah, save your money for GTA. There you go. Oh, Luke, if you want to play Cyclops and Thing, you got to pay $4 for the DLC for Cosmic Invasion. I picked it up yesterday. All right, the next thing we're going to watch is the Batman review. It's from Gaming Bolt. Link in the description down below. If you guys like, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, not only on this channel, but go to Gaming Bolt and give them a like, give them a follow, give them a sub. We're going to watch the Batman, the LegoBatman, Legacy of the Dark Knight review. Now, again, review is a review. Take what you want. We're just looking at it to see what it's like. If you're on the fence about it, maybe you want to pick it up, maybe the optimization. I don't know. We don't really watch Gaming Bolt very much for the reviews, but there's not a lot of people that I trust that played this game yet. So maybe they come out today, maybe it comes out tomorrow, maybe they haven't just posted their reviews yet, maybe they're not going to play it at all. So we're going to watch Gaming Bolt. It's about a 9-minute and 19-second review and see if it's good, bad, or indifferent. Here we go.
I need to become more than a man. I need to become a symbol.
What did you have in mind?
Something elemental. Something terrifying. Yeah, I'm sure something will come to me.
Batman fans have strangely been starved in the video games arena for a long time now. More than a decade on from the launch of Rocksteady's...
Roadkill, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people in my channel are fathers of children. Or they're grown-up children.
Batman Arkham Knight, the wait for a new mainline AAA game featuring the Dark Knight has stretched on far longer than anyone could have expected. Now sure, we got the surprisingly excellent Arkham Shadow a couple of years ago, but between that game being VR exclusive, Rocksteady's talents being wasted on the failed experiment that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and the wait for a new Batman game having been dragged on for as long as it
Just review the game. Just review the game. I don't care about the other stuff that came before it. Review the game.
has, questions over how WB has handled the franchise have become increasingly unavoidable. Enter LegoBatman Legacy of the Dark Knight. The newest entry in TT Games' LegoBatman franchise, Legacy of the Dark Knight, shockingly delivers the sort of experience that Batman fans have been craving for so long.
Who's there?
A friend.
What's that? What was that?
The combat is exactly like the
and
old
design heavily
Batman
inspired
games.
by the Arkham titles, a story that is packed full of secrets, callbacks, and references from across Batman history, and all of the charm, humor, and replayability that you would expect to find in one of TT Games' LEGO titles. Legacy of the Dark Knight is an accomplished, packed, and thoroughly enjoyable Batman game. As its name implies, Legacy of the Dark Knight borrows liberally.
How do you guys play the Lego games? Do you guys beat the story and then go back and collect all the coins and unlock stuff? Or do you collect all the stuff? Obviously, there's a lot of stuff you can't collect the very first time you go through because you have to unlock certain characters or unlock certain abilities. But do you guys try to collect as many coins as possible and then continue the story? Or do you beat the story, then go back and collect the stuff?
And heavily from
At Solom_Argus celebrates 28 months of membership. Time flies.
Thank you very much for the 28-month support. Appreciate you. Thanks, Argus. Time does fly. Time does fly. So
and pays homage to all corners of the Batman universe, pulling in elements from past games, comics, films, and more. Narratively, it charts a long story for Bruce Wayne, starting at the very beginning with the death of his parents in his childhood.
Yeah, I do the same, Luke. I do the same thing. I do what I can and then go back. Justin Love says, I hand the controller to the kid and say, get to work. You're
seeing
not
him join
kidding.
the League of Shadows and train as a ninja, and then becoming the Dark Knight of Gotham and protecting the city from a wide roster of fan-favorite villains.
Oh, hey, why did you call me here?
We need the height to test the glide.
Glide? Oh. Ah! Whoa! Is your helmet on too tight? You just threw me off a roof.
There is little that LegoBatman Legacy of the Dark Knight does with its story that can be called entirely original, but it does a solid job nonetheless of combining elements from familiar stories and cobbling together a fun setting that Batman fans will doubtless enjoy. This game is brimming with an undeniable love for the property. Of course, the classic LEGO charm and humor that we've come to expect also contribute significantly, with amusing visual gags, legitimately funny writing, and more. Where Legacy of the Dark Knight really shines is in the gameplay, which is thanks in large part
Unlike Mixtape.
to how heavily it borrows from the Arkham games. Take the combat, for instance, with the same free-flowing, brawling systems implemented here. You punch and kick your way through crowds of enemies, with different types bearing unique weapons and shields, or donning armor.
How is the Batman Lego game got better combat than James Bond? Makes you wonder.
Or being larger and more difficult to take down. Along with your basic attacks, you can dodge and, of course, counter incoming moves, while your gadgets also have a big role to play. From the mechanics to the moment-to-moment action and beyond, Legacy of the Dark Knight evokes Batman Arkham's combat strongly and replicates it really well. Now, don't get me...
I hope the co-op is like what they did for Marvel back in the day, dog. I love when they, like, when you're together on the screen, then when you pull apart, the screen, like, separates type of stuff. I don't know if they do that in this game, but that would be amazing if it did. And I really wish that most of these Lego games did co-op online.
wrong. This is,
I know they don't do it here.
at the end of the day, still a LEGO game, which means you shouldn't go in expecting all of the depth and complexity of the Arkham games' combat. Like past TT Games titles, Legacy of the Dark Knight features gameplay that has been simplified so it can be accessible to players of all ages.
And journalists.
But even in its simplified form, the combat here is absolutely a blast. Sure, there are times when its relatively straightforward nature can make somewhat dull or repetitive encounters, but more often than not, Legacy of the Dark Knight's Arkham-inspired brawler combat is a ton of fun. Fisticuffs, however, are not the only way Batman knows how to deal with problems. The Dark Knight likes to stick to the shadows and strike fear into the enemy's
No, I'll probably watch the James Bond review next week.
hearts, and Legacy of the Dark Knight lets you do just that. Yeah, for the most part.
Did he just say that or bat?
With problems. The Dark Knight likes to stick to the shadows and strike fear into the enemy's hearts, and Legacy of the Dark Knight lets you do just that. Yeah, for the most part. Again, it does so by modeling itself after the Arkham games, though again, it does so in a much more straightforward fashion. You can perform silent takedowns, use your gadgets to distract or knock out foes, swing from vantage point to vantage point, and more. With all of those fundamentals in place, Legacy of the Dark Knight successfully delivers a stealth game that feels surprisingly similar to Rocksteady's titles. A lot of the nuance is taken out of the equation, yes, while the game also understandably doesn't stick to the striking fear into enemies' hearts shtick, instead sticking to a much more light-hearted tone, though all in all, the combat and stealth mix together really well.
How much you want to bet that the stealth in this game is better than the stealth in the James Bond game?
Especially as your arsenal of tools and weapons and roster of playable characters and abilities expands. Now, outside of combat and stealth, there is plenty else to do. When you're not in the middle of a story mission, LegoBatman Legacy of the Dark Knight lets you explore an open-world Gotham City, which is an exceptional rendition of the iconic location. Gotham in the game looks exactly as Gotham should, with all of the atmosphere, dramatic weather effects, gothic architecture, and lighting we have come to expect from the city. And all of that is blended effortlessly with the LEGO aesthetic, and the result is absolutely fantastic. Legacy of the Dark Knight's Gotham is also impressive from a design perspective. Again, you shouldn't go in expecting a gargantuan open world similar to Arkham Knight or even Arkham City, but what is on offer here serves as an excellent open world sandbox nonetheless. Gotham is comprised of multiple different districts, each serving as a small map with its own distinct theme and look, and featuring a plethora of side activities for players to tackle. That includes stopping crimes, dealing with the Riddler's pesky challenges, tracking down and opening chests, collecting collectibles, and so much more. Exploring the city is always thoroughly enjoyable thanks to just how much there is to do and how consistently fun most of it tends to be.
Jesse Max says 30 co-op split screen gameplay to side split screen, not bottom to split screen. But I know what I'm saying is I like the Marvel one where it doesn't matter where you were, it would split apart and it would circle around the map. Like it would constantly keep you. Like that's what I like. I thought that was a really cool feature they had in the Marvel one.
Meanwhile, it also helps that making your way around Gotham is consistently a total blast. You can grapple and glide around the city, which again is not too dissimilar from how the Arkham games handle it, complete with dive bombing, grapple launching,
just like the other
and
games.
more. Well, you also get access to vehicles as you make your way through the story, including the Batmobile and the Bat Cycle. The vehicles feel excellent to control, while the gliding and traversal mechanics are also top.
Again, I bet you the driving in this game is better than the James Bond game. The James Bond game looks really bad for car driving.
Notch, which means getting from point A to B in Gotham City never feels like a chore, especially with so much fun and varied side activities to distract you all along the way. Outside of Gotham City, you can also explore Bruce's Batcave, which is always fun, especially for a Batman fan, and also comes with light customization elements. Meanwhile, like any of TT Games' LEGO titles, Legacy of the Dark Knight also boasts a ton of replayability with plenty of suits, characters, and collectibles to track down, including exclusive ones across different missions. Between the main story being close to 15 hours long and the abundant side content outside of it, the game has plenty on offer to keep players busy for hours and hours. Now, it's also worth noting how technically impressive Legacy of the Dark Knight actually is. I spent most of my time on performance mode, and I haven't noticed too many technical issues. Barring some minor, albeit somewhat jarring glitches here and there, the game touts smooth frame rates and gorgeous and highly detailed visuals. Then there's the music, of course, which, like much of the rest of the game, does an incredible job of pulling in elements from across the entirety of Batman's history. There is no shortage of things to love about Legacy of the Dark Knight. It's an excellent Batman game that has everything in place to keep fans satisfied while we wait for our next big AAA Dark Knight adventure. A solid yet simplified take on the beloved Arkham formula, and of course, yet another charming, amusing, and addictive LEGO adventure by TT Games. LegoBatman Legacy of the Dark Knight might not be the Batman game we deserve, but it is the one we need.
I think, look, here's the thing, right? Link in the description down below for Gaming Bolt. Here's the thing, right? If you make a game and sell a game, right, it's a Lego game, right? A lot of people are like, I'm not going to get it because it's a Lego game and I'm an adult and I don't play Lego game type of stuff, right? I guarantee you this sells very well because they made a fucking game. And this is why it's a 9, okay? Because it's a fun game. Like, at least the good review, by the way, because he was talking about the gameplay and stuff. No one brought up the co-op. I think there is co-op in there, but he didn't bring it up. If you make a game, it doesn't matter if it's Lego based or voxel based or whatever based. If it's a good game, it's a good game. This is why I think it's funny, because even when Gotham Knights came out, people are like, oh, it looks like a comic or it looks like a mobile phone game and it runs at 30 frames per second. It's actually a really fun game, right? The story was okay. It wasn't like, wasn't mixtape. It wasn't mixtape story. Joke, by the way. The fighting was really good. Right? The combos that you're like link up and stuff, was it as good as the other Batman games? No, but it was good. But people hated that game. Why? For whatever reason. It wasn't the Batman game they asked for. I don't think this was the Batman game they asked for either. But I guarantee you people will love this Batman game because it's a good game. That's what it is. Right? But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to... I'm trying to think. Would it be the best selling Will it be the best-selling Batman game? I don't know. Not Batman game, Lego game, not Batman game. I think it might be one of the better selling Lego games out there. I think there's a lot of replayability in it. I think obviously it pulls from all the eras of what it is, and I think because it is Legos, it's a more broader audience. Not a game for everybody, but goddamn pretty close, because kids are going to like it, teenagers are going to like it, adults are going to like it. So I think it works. It works really well for everything. Am I still playing mixtape tonight? No, we're playing Forza Horizon 6. We're never going to play mixtape. Like, never. We're going to play mixtape. Well, I actually, let me rephrase that. I'm never going to watch mixtape. I'm never going to watch mixtape because you don't play it. I don't care if it comes out as game of the year. What we got here? Let's see. What we got coming out in June? Escape Simulator. Where the hell is the thing? I just opened up okay, hold on. There we go. No. Still did not open. Where is this going? I'm trying to open up a new tab. No, don't want to open it. Let's see, open. Kylo says, oh, hold on, Kylo. I got to get you back on the screen. Kylo says, Mike, if you could beat any of my PR Drift Zone scores in Horizon 6, I'll super chat $20. Did you do it legit, or did you have like some sort of, souped up? Like how long? Can I use a stock car, or is it like, do I need a super duper car that takes like 15 hours to get? Is it like a stock car? You're using some sort of like trick controller. I'll have to see what your scores are. I have to admit, I'm not very good at drifting, but I'm legit. I've just been playing Forza since 2007. You can use whatever you want. All right, what about if I have my son beat you? Yeah. What about if I have my son beat you? All right, here's the some coming soon to Xbox Game Pass. We have Dead Static Drive, we got Peppa Pig, we got Pigeon Simulator, we got Remnant 2, we got Winterboro, we got Luna Abyss, Escape Simulator, I don't know what the hell that is, Echo Generation 2, Outer Worlds, I'm assuming this is Outer Worlds 2. We got Crash Out Crew, we got Colbo Park, Final Fantasy 6, and Jurassic World Evolution 3. He can try. I don't think he needs to try. He's actually pretty good. He's actually pretty good. I'm like, son, you have to beat him, but you have to beat him with my gamer tag. Yeah, I'm not a super duper car racer. I'll try though. I'll try it 100%. I will try to beat you. I like a good challenge. If he does it, yeah, I'll give him $20, 100%. My son landed. You guys ever see that clip? I don't know if I still have it. He was 3? I think he was 3. And we were playing. No, he was. Oh, hold on a second. No, he was 5. He was 5 years old, and he landed the plane in Flight Sim. And then there was another thing he did. And my son loves playing video games. My son's very good at Mario Kart. Very good at Mario Kart. Oh, that's a cool. Oh, is this a new skin for Daredevil? Or is it a new emote? Or a new emote and skin? Is that from the new show? We were just playing checkers the other day because my son, he likes playing chess. He's starting to learn checkers. And he's like, can you let me win? I'm like, no, that's not how. I was like, if you want to win, you have to win. He's like, yeah, but I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, yeah, that's how you learn. So he played Grandpa. Grandpa destroyed him. Grandpa destroyed him. Ooh, Grogu got a 5. A 5. Well, you gotta let him have it, right? Cisco says my son won one time against me in Mario Kart, and he still talks about it. That's all you need, right? There was that. Remember that one time? There, growing up, Cisco, my dad was a phenomenal bowler, right? And one time we went out, and he had his own ball and stuff. I always used house ball. I always used stuff. I think it was like 13 or 14, and we were up in New York, and we happened to go with my best friend and his family and stuff like that, and we all had to use house balls, all of us, right? Because he didn't have his ball, he didn't have his shoes, so we're using house ball, house shoes, and I beat him. And my dad was making up excuses. Well, it's because I don't have my ball, I don't have my, all of this stuff. And I was just like, when it was a fair game, because he's not used to, throwing that ball either like I am. I don't have my shoes. He doesn't have his shoes. I actually beat him. And to this day, I won't let him forget about it. I was like, remember that time I beat you? He's like, yeah, well, Yeah, I think I have. Let me see if I still have. I think I might have the clip of my son landing the plane. Let's see. Maybe not. Clip. Let's see. Maybe they deleted it. I have no idea. It's way back in the day. Let's see. Going back to, what was it, 2020 when it came out, right? The flight sim? And we have a lot of Marvel's Avengers clips. Jesus. Oh, here, I think this is it right here. Let me see. 2020. So this is August. So he was 6 years old. He was 6 years old, I think. Yeah.
You want to?
Oh, he did amazing, Big.
You want to see?
Oh, that's wait. Where is it? Oh, do we not have the clip of him landing?
Want me to do it easy?
We have. How do we have this clip, but we don't have him landing? Oh. You can't look at the actual full clip anymore, huh? Well, that sucks. I don't have it. I have him landing already past the landing point. That's weird how they don't have it on here. Did they take it down? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't have it. I can show you how young he was.
You want to?
Oh, he did amazing, Big.
You want to see? Yes.
Thank you very much,
You
Dirk.
want to see this? How I land?
I'd like to show her the instant replay. I don't need you to do it again.
Not instantly. Want me to do it instantly?
Did anybody clip it? I don't think anyone clipped it. Let me see. How dare you, chat?
How dare you?
How dare you, chat?
How dare you?
I think we had it on our old, but we don't have it anymore. So hey, he landed it.
Oh,
It was the very first time he's ever touched the controller.
See? Yes.
Thank you very much, Dirk.
You want to see this?
People thought I was like touching the controller. I had my hands up in the air. I was like, nope, not touching it. I could have sworn we had the actual clip. Oh, we do. Is this it? We do. Here we go.
Not yet. Don't start turning yet, but you're gonna go. You're gonna start turning gently over.
Right now.
Now, turn gently.
We got it. All right, first, have a good one. Oh, what the hell's happening here?
Turn left. A little sharper. A little sharper. Okay. Now bring it down.
Look at the
okay,
concentration on his eyes.
Boxes. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic. Yeah. Turn a little bit sharper. You want to stay in the boxes. Stay in the boxes. Okay. Now flatten it out. Level it out. Level it out. Doing good, bud. Hit B. Slow down a little bit. Okay. You're gonna bring your speed down. Oh, you gotta keep it down though. Keep it down. Now you gotta turn gently to the left.
That's not gentle.
It's okay. It's okay. We got plenty of runway. We got plenty of runway. Flatten it out. No. You're okay. Okay, go down. Go down. Down. I'm slowing you down. Hit B all the way down. B.
I'm just showing him. Like, hit the button B.
Stall out. Bring it down. Bring it down. Gentle. 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 That's the wrong runway. You want the one in front of you. Lower to the ground. Lower to the ground. Lower to the ground. You got it. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay down. You landed, bud. Woo!
I say pet
You landed, bud.
I say pet life.
You gotta hit the brakes now. Hit Y and B. Good job, boy. Look at you.
Look at him. Pure enjoyment.
That was awesome.
Jesus.
That was awesome.
I say pet life.
That was awesome.
Yeah, now landing Top Gun. Yeah, give him that and see what he can do. I was on this plane last time I flew. Yeah, you would throw up. You'd be like, oh God, if you were on that actual plane. Not bad though. Not bad for you know. I want to say he was 5, maybe 6. Just turned. Actually, it was before because it was in August.
Thank you very much, Dirk.
Yeah, so he was 5, going to be 6. Yeah.
I can just show her the instant replay. I don't need you to do.
Yeah, because his birthday's in August. Let's see. Yeah, it's cool to capture stuff like that. There was another clip of him that the very first thing he ever killed, which I don't have. It was a game called Boundless. I don't think I have it. It was a game called Boundless, and he wanted to control it and then shoot one of the animals in the game, and that was it. I think he was like 3 when that happened. All right, let's see. Metacritic. With the first 71 critic review, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book has a Metascore of 81. So Yoshi game. What else we got going on here? Sony has reportedly reaffirmed a pullback from PC and PC games from being reacting to the news and the mixed disappointment of the lack of surprise. We already talked about that. That's Star Wars and Mando Grogu reviews are thoughtfully mid. Everyone's giving shitty reviews. Let's go to Metacritic real fast. Let's see. Should we go to Metacritic or should we go to Oof. Star Wars Mando and Grogu's got a 55 right now. 55. Dear Lord. Let's read some, shall we? Just little clip-its. This guy gave it an 84. It's a deft and enjoyable blockbuster, easily the most purely entertaining Star Wars movie since 1980s, even though it's hardly the most meaningful or ambitious. The swashbuckling space western, okay, that definitely marries combative, speculative, and kid-friendly cutscenes. Or cuteness, sorry, cutesy. 78 says Favreau's philosophy of world building is obviously the stuff of the TV show. Now this is a movie. It's time for fun and thrills. Okay, let's go a little further down here. New York Post, the film's relatively modest comes as something as a relief. Freed from the burden of canonical responsibility, its flightly fun Western East space mission commenced neatly wrapped inside of 2 hours. Okay, we drops down to 60 over here. Collider. This is the Mandalorian and Grogu, the worst Star Wars film ever made. Far from it, as it also is. There is much fun to be had. It's also the best. Is it the best in the franchise? Also not the case, as it could very well be the most forgettable, inconsequential entry of the franchise has produced yet. Then it jumps down to a 60. Right, there's 2 60s here. The film is watchable and barrels along, capability enough, but perhaps there isn't enough of humanity, humor, and also space melodrama, which continues to make Star Wars lovable. Okay, goes down to, let's see, 58 of 50. It's a lovable mess, but it works. A 50. It's a lovable mess. IGN. This is the Star Wars movie missing the thrills, the surprises, the challenges, in addition to really anything of note of the franchise, not to mention a vested interest in seeing its characters grow and change. This is not the way. The Boston Globe gives it a 50. When Pascal and Baby Yoda have a quiet moment, Star Wars: The Mandalorian Grogu is evolving. Unfortunately, the Disney folks should have called this one battle after another, because that's basically what you'll get. Some of the scenes look great in IMAX format, and there's some great puppetry here. Of 40 slash films, desperate attempt to satisfy everyone, The Mandalorian Grogu neglects to tell a meaningful tale worth anyone's time. Instead of a pulpy thrill-a-minute adventure it was promised, Star Wars has never felt duller or more mundane. This ain't the way, folks. Is there lower than a 40? Oh my God. There's a 20. There are feeble nods to The Empire Strikes Back here and winks to Return of the Jedi there. Callbacks from Iron Man director Jon Favreau. Some magical power also were symptomatic of a film and franchise that exists in a grim world void. A 20. Boy, this is gonna make huge money. This is gonna make nothing. It's gonna be bad. Clip says Jeremy Johns did not like it and says it's very forgettable. Like he said, he already forgot it. Yes, it was a joke, but that can't be good. I don't know anyone, or I don't know who anywhere would have thought the movie was going to be good. I kind of want to go watch it just to see how bad it is. Does that make sense? I'll probably take my family. My mom and my dad are coming up in a couple weeks because we're going on a trip, and they're coming up to house sit. Maybe we'll take them to the movies. My dad and my mom will be like, yeah, it's good. That's right. Alternate says, sad that none of them said this is not the way as a review. Yeah, they actually, you know what? Let's count how many times they did say that. Let's see. We know about the 2, right? Let's see. Let's see. Do we have Lovable, Blast, Lucasfilm Gold here. Remains cute, inconsequential. It works. This is not the way. That's 1. This is not the way. That's 2. This ain't the way. That's 3. Was there another one? I thought we had. So there's 3. 3 of them said it. And that's just on the small blurb. God knows how many said it in the actual full review. A 55. What do you think the people are going to say about it? Usually when the critics are low, the crowd is high. There's usually like a 40-point difference, right? Is that going to happen here? Are people going to like it? Or is it going to go lower? What's another movie that came out recently? Right? Like Obsession came out. Obsession's out for everybody, right? Well, people liked it just as much. 7 and 7, 7.6. 2018 to 2019 to 2026. Yep, flops. Right, Super Mario was the game that people like, or the movie. Like the people hated it. Or I'm sorry, the people loved it. Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what it is over there. Do they not have? There's no reviews? 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. 77 reviews. All right, underwhelming is an understatement. The Mandalorian Grogu feels like a mashup TV arc belonging on Disney Plus rather than IMAX. A Star Wars movie that can be more than a movie. It could be a lifelong experience. Not even a Star Wars movie is. The Mandalorian Grogu never had to be. But in words of Yoda, it chooses do not instead of do. It doesn't even try. Storytelling is disjointed. The action sequence are subpar. The visual styles is bland, uninteresting, and doesn't really do anything creative. Okay, here's someone that gave it a fresh. There's plenty of here to appease fans, but not enough to deliver an epic Star Wars feeling. The biggest problem with the Mandalorian Grogu is not simple. It's not simply that it is boring, ugly, or dramatically inherent. It barely qualifies as a movie. It has a shape, a style of content, not cinema. Jesus. Barely qualifies as a movie. So we're talking like Minecraft movie here, right? Minecraft made a shit ton of money, but that wasn't a movie. Although generic premise fails to expand the horizon, Favreau pulls it out the big guns to bring Mandalorian to the big screen. His emotional action-packed efforts reiterate that Star Wars isn't just about the Jedi. 8 out of 10. There's nothing about this film that feels left over, like a stretched-out coda instead. Refreshingly light action adventure, a piece that makes it the world its own, celebrates the best of it. The Mandalorian Grogu feels less like an event than an obligation. One more mission, one more fetch quest, one more reminder that Star Wars nostalgia is still doing the heavy lifting. There's no shortage of Star Wars level wow factor, from a slimy beast to the outer space dogfights to, well, great. That's not really telling much about the 4 out of 10. These movies have always had a risk of ambition. There's also best and the worst to show something that can't help but feel disheartening, not to mention boring. It's always nice when you can watch a movie and say, well, it's boring. The plot is non-existent, and it really does feel like it's a fully CGI movie, but when it's just Mando and Grogu going from A to B, it's such a sweet story. Fantastic. Really, really looking forward to it. As a long-awaited return of Star Wars theatrical storytelling, it feels more like a comfortable side mission than an essential adventure. Nothing stands out in The Mandalorian, and Grogu is a generic, safe Star Wars movie. So there you go. Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited? So what do you think? People are going to say like an 80? If they say 61, or is it going to be less? It's going to be like a 40. It could go either way. It could go either way. Do we think it's 20 points higher than the reviewers or 20 points lower? Who's going higher? Who's going lower? Do we think it sits around at like a 70, 78 to an 82, or do we think it goes down to like a 44 to 42? I think it's going to go lower. So the reviewers say 61. I think the people are going to say like it's at a 40. Real quick, what was... All right, well, Solo got a 69%, and everybody else gave it a 63%. To put that in kind of perspective. Yeah, but Roic, the critics didn't love it. It's at a 61%. I mean, technically, it's still a fresh rating by like 1 point. Sorry, my cows are freaking out right now. All right. I think that's all the excitement we have for today. A lot of PlayStation stories. We got Hell Let Loose Vietnam, and then we also had the Batman review of the Dark Legacy. We'll be back tonight to play some Forza Horizon 6 on Xbox tonight over on 30 and Still Gaming. That'll be around 8 p.m. Eastern. Come on by, hang out with us as we race around, open up some stuff, try to beat Kylo's drift racing, maybe. Other than that, I do appreciate everyone coming out, hanging out with us each and every single day, Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go check out the channels that we watch the videos on, Gaming Bolt and also Big Fry TV. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Promise wrapped in neon light. Everyone on said it changed their life. Started up the game and watched it play. Guess I'm just along for the ride again today. Walk real slow through another empty hall. Character keeps talking while I do nothing at all. Hold the stick forward, that's the big design. 10 out of 10 every single time. And I miss those nights, failing 20 times. Now everything survives itself without me trying. Gaming lost its soul somewhere, buried underneath perfect scores and scripted air. I press one button, the game does the rest. Still they call it one of the best. Another 10 out of 10. Guess gameplay's dead again. Used to learn patterns, used to earn the win. Now the checkpoints save me every 10 seconds in. Can't even fail if I wanted to try. Just stare at the screen while the hours die. Journalists crying over every scene, calling boredom cinematic in every magazine. Maybe I'm broken, maybe they're right. Maybe games are movies now pretending they can fight. And I miss those nights, controllers in my hands, not just watching stories. I bet